You're what? All right. What's up, chat? What's up, chat? All right. Yesterday, I said, chat. Yesterday, I basically said, that I was gonna plan ahead this stream. I didn't plan ahead this stream. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie to y'all. I did not plan ahead. I mean, I planned ahead, but I didn't. You know what I mean? So, we're going to wing it. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, we have a couple of videos. We have a couple of good videos, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Um, yeah, so we're here. We're doing. We're doing videos again. Damn. Okay, we got a long ass video for today. I mean, usual like the longest video we've reacted to, I'm pretty sure is 30 minutes. So, think. I don't know. Hold on, child. I'll be right back. Give me a minute. Alright, now I got it. Oh wow. Baby, why you doing this? Why you doing this to me, girl? This bitch got me paying for trips, diamond on her neck, diamond on her wrist, and here I am all alone, all alone. All I go to go with a smoking out the window. How could she do this to me? How could you do this to me? I'm not trying to own me. Yes, I will. If I was wrong, she was on. Everybody, everybody, ooh. All right, nigga this, nigga that. Wow. Yo, we're definitely turning that off. Just the other night, she was gripping on me tight, screaming Hercules. Got me in the club, with me. Alright, we're seeing. Oh, no. How dumb guys sound when caught in a lie. Maybe how you doing this?
All right, bro. You gotta tell me about what happened last night.
What you mean, bro?
Sean said you was wilding, bro. He told me to ask you.
No, I have to tell you about that later.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Hold on. Hold on, I gotta get some more nachos. Doing this to me, girl. I want that. This bitch got me paying for trips, paying rent, diamond on her neck, diamond on her wrist.
I'm only gonna ask you one time.
All alone, to go.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. And I'm only gonna ask you one time. So I swear you better answer it correctly. Where were you last night?
What you mean? I was at my friend Sean's house. I told you that.
Okay, so why did my friend see you on an Instagram story at the club last night?
Oh yeah, we only went to the club for like 5 minutes because Mark had forgot his watch at the club the day before. So we went there to go look for his watch. He wasn't even there that long.
Who do you think I am? Y'all went to the club for a what? Then why were you drinking? Why were you drinking around a bunch of...
Hold on. No, I was not drinking.
You are on video with a bottle in your hand.
It was Capri Sun in the bottle. They drink the bottle. I put Capri Sun in the bottle. Bro, don't I always put Capri Sun in the liquor bottles? Like, exactly, like I was not drinking around other women. Like, don't try to paint that picture and make it weird.
Okay, so explain why in the next video she's twerking on your face.
Huh?
You heard me. Why in the next video is she twerking on your face? Your face is in her ass.
No.
Your face, yes,
No,
yes it is. It's literally.
No, she wasn't twerking on my face. She was twerking in the vicinity. I dropped my keys. I bent down to get my keys. My face ended up in her ass. Like, don't do that. I know she was not twerking on my face.
This video went on for 2 minutes. The video went on for 2 minutes.
I was looking for my keys. I couldn't see her ass was in the way. Like,
I'm so confused. Are you hearing what you're saying?
No.
Like, do you hear this?
Did not happen the way that you make.
Okay, then why did you say this at the end of the video? Look,
Let me see.
why did you say this at the end of the video?
Hey, fuck my girl, nigga! Fuck my girl!
You said F me. That's what you said.
All right, you getting the tone completely wrong. I was like, fuck my girl. Because I knew that if you seen that video, how it was going to look. I was not saying it that way.
Then why, when you were saying it, were you putting your middle finger?
First of all, that was sign language. The nigga I was talking to was deaf.
Oh,
bro,
wow.
Then we take sign language classes. Like,
wow.
All right, yo, my grandma died 7 years ago. I don't got time for
Okay,
this, yo.
wow, okay.
Come on, bro.
That is, wow.
No, because I'm sick of you calling me a liar. Like, no. You never believe me. I'm done, bro. I'm done. I'm not doing this. I'm not getting disrespected like this.
I'm not getting disrespected.
We did learn sign language.
Your friend is a dumbass.
I know.
We did learn something. Your friend is a dumbass. I know. Ooh, let's watch this actually. Oh wait, I forgot to like it.
For
W video though. I love Trey Rags. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm not in streamer mode right now.
a kid who grew up dreaming of the spotlight, becoming the top streamer in the world, #1 by every metric, wasn't just a win, it felt like destiny. Like the internet gods reached down and said, yeah, you. Ludwig broke records, reinvented formats, and for a moment, it felt like he was untouchable.
Thank you for this award.
In just 30 days, he became the internet's golden boy, stacking achievement upon achievement, building an empire that seemed destined to rise forever.
I thought from then on, I was going to be the biggest streamer in the world.
But there was just one problem. The game of social media is broken. Think of it like Jenga, where every success, every viral hit, every milestone adds another block to the tower. And the higher you go, the closer you are to collapse. You see, Ludwig wasn't just chasing the views. His entire self-worth was measured by them. And that's the trap you see over and over. Creators climb to the top, crown themselves kings, and then burn out trying to reverse the fall. But Ludwig realized something that most don't. If you don't like the game you're playing, change the rules.
It's a bar.
Okay, so just a quick note here. We started working on this video about a month ago, and we were almost done editing it right around the same time as the Beerio Kart stream. What happened there and how certain things were handled was definitely disappointing. But with that being said, this video isn't about that. We made this video before any of that happened, and after a lot of debate, we decided to not shelve it. Because we still believe in the story that it tells, and we think it's worth sharing. But if you are looking for videos that address the Beerio Kart situation directly, I'll leave a few linked down below in the description. And how certain things were handled was definitely his entire self-worth was measured by them. And that's the trap you see over and over. Creators climb to the top, crown themselves kings, and then burn out trying to reverse the fall. But Ludwig realized something that most don't. If you don't like the game you're playing, change the rules. Okay, so just a quick note here. We started working on this video about a month ago, and we were almost done editing it right around the same time as the Beerio Kart stream. What happened there and how certain things were handled was definitely disappointing. But with that being said, this video isn't about that. We made this video before any of that happened, and after a lot of debate, we decided to not shelve it. Because we still believe in the story that it tells, and we think it's worth sharing. But if you are looking for videos that address the Beerio Kart situation directly, I'll leave a few linked down below in the description. But this video really just focuses on Ludwig's story before any of that, so we hope you can still enjoy it. The story of Ludwig really begins in 2005, and during a 5th grade class presentation, he debuted a parody of the novel My Brother Sam is Dead, in which he cleverly retitled My Brother Slam is Dead. When he read one of his favorite jokes aloud, the classroom burst into laughter, and right there in that moment, the spotlight turned on. The dopamine hit, and he was hooked. From that point on, Ludwig was everywhere he could be, singing in the choir, co-starring in plays, leading pep rallies, and hosting school events like it was late-night TV.
Alright, up next we have the interview portion, where all contestants will be lined up and at random selected with the spotlight to answer a question. Hey Ben, how's it going? Good. Ben, I'm gonna throw you one and I just hope it doesn't go south. What is your favorite website? We are in school, right? Shouldn't start with a P.
As video sharing platforms gained momentum, Ludwig brought his passion online. He launched a YouTube channel under the alias The Zany Sidekick, experimenting with Call of Duty gameplay and commentary.
Let's get a little revenge. Suck it, Max. You just got owned.
When Vine exploded in popularity in 2013, he quickly adapted, crafting 7-second skits that perfectly showcased his sharp wit and impeccable comedic timing.
Straight out of a stripper's butt crack.
After high school, Ludwig left New Hampshire behind and headed west to Arizona State University. It was a new state with new faces, but the mindset stayed the same. Try everything. He was rejected from fraternities, passed over by clubs, comedy groups, a cappella groups. He kept showing up, but they kept saying no. For the first time, the stage felt far away. So, he built his own.
Hey guys, welcome to Tempe Late Night. I'm your host, Ludwig.
A bunch of misfits, all turned down from that same ASU comedy group, got together and formed a rival. They called it Tempe Late Night, a scrappy little comedy group with an audience of 0.
Sex is like Bob Ross. It's not premature ejaculation. It's just a happy little accident.
The build was slow, but by the end of the year, Tempe Late Night began selling out shows, packing out seats. It had far transcended what the rival comedy show had ever achieved, taking the throne of the top comedy group on campus. Now, throughout all of this, Ludwig's dream was always the same. Late nights, a live audience, and his name in the lights. Think Fallon, Kimmel, or Letterman. The career of his dreams was to host a talk show. But somewhere in the middle of his junior year, fate threw a wrench in his Hollywood blueprint. It came in the form of a plastic relic from 2001, a Nintendo GameCube disc titled Super Smash Bros. Melee. What started as a casual hobby turned into a full-blown obsession. He'd spend infinite hours learning the mains, learning how to ledge lash. He discovered competitive Melee tournaments streamed on this little platform called Twitch, and he started watching, then studying. He got better than his friends and decided that wasn't enough. He wanted in, so he hit the road. Local tournaments, hotel barrooms, folding chairs, and CRTs. This was the minor leagues of competitive Smash. And here's how it worked. Once you got knocked out, you had two choices. Pack it up or pick up a mic. And Ludwig didn't win much, but damn could he commentate.
Just waiting for Axe to get this 3-1.
It really started at Runback 2017. He called matches with an infectious energy, cracked jokes that actually landed, and filled every silence like it owed him money.
If a quiz is a quizzical, what's a test?
And somewhere between the losers bracket and the after parties, Ludwig began to grow a name for himself in the Melee community. As his presence grew, so did his circle. He started running with some of the big names in the Melee world, guys who were already super well known in the scene, people like Slime. And that mattered, because for a while, Ludwig wasn't the guy. He was friends with the guy.
I love Slime. Have you met Slime?
I've met Slime. I'm a big fan of Slime.
Okay, yeah, he's a legend.
Now, remember Slime because he's going to be important later. But meanwhile, Ludwig had graduated college and made the leap, fully moved to LA, ready to start his first big boy job, running the website for a wine and spirits magazine. For a few glorious days, things were great. He wore button-ups, he showed up early, he felt important. But just weeks later, he was fired. Something about screwing up the site and maybe lying on his resume.
I moved to LA for this job. I don't have anything.
This would become a recurring theme over the next few years. A weird, wobbly balancing act between this Melee thing and paying rent.
How do we finesse this guy to get jobs at NBC?
Yeah, we're both writers. We need jobs.
Slime and Ludwig had quickly became a fan-favorite duo in the Melee scene. Their chemistry on commentary was electric, and after a guest spot on Slime's Bad Melee podcast, Ludwig caught the bug. He figured, hell, why not try out this streaming thing on his own?
Alright, 160,
And honestly, his first few streams went surprisingly well. A dozen or so loyal Melee heads would tune in, keep the chat alive, and hang out for a few hours. Not bad for a guy figuring it out on the fly, but Twitch remained on the back burner. Every time Ludwig landed a new job, Snapchat, Best Buy, or wherever, streaming took a backseat. Because dreams are cool, but rent's due on the first. Still, the itch never left, so he made a deal with himself. Stacked $10,000 in savings, enough to float a few months of full-time streaming. That was the goal. And after landing a head of marketing gig at a vaping startup called IQ Vapes, Ludwig started shoveling cash into that fund. But late 2018 changed everything. There was a Melee event in Las Vegas, Scar vs. Fendi. Big names, high stakes.
Guy, I want to bet on it right now.
Ludwig was on the mic and it was lightning in a bottle. The stream popped off, the YouTube VODs went viral, and the entire Melee community took notice.
No, he didn't. Oh my God,
Then came the Hotels.com commercial that featured Ludwig, which was like kind of random, but whatever.
What's up, gamers? Ludwig's a gamer.
No, I'm a professional gamer.
Then came the roast of Hugo Gonzalez, another Melee legend. Ludwig took the stage, mic in hand, zero hesitation, and he murdered. Again, viral. And suddenly, Ludwig stopped caring about the 9 to 5, started prepping his stream work during work hours. He showed up late and clocked in mentally somewhere else. Eventually, in early February 2019, he was fired. The savings account was still shy of the target, and the timing, a disaster like always. But the walls were closing in. The gun was pressed against the back of his head. If Ludwig wanted to become an entertainer...
Ludwig is, in my opinion, a really great example on how to start your Twitch career. Build up YouTube, then bring them to Twitch, and operate YouTube and Twitch. That's lit. That's lit. Because a lot of streamers, I feel like, especially Speed, got big on just streaming and then post every now and then on his Twitter on his on his TikTok whenever like he wants to. But I feel like when you like start your career on a certain on like a different the fuck am I saying, chat? fuck am I saying? I feel like if you start your channel on a different my bad. On a different platform, there you go. Platform, social media platform, then it's kind of like you have two things to operate and then you make more money. Not a lot of money, but it's still like more money is always good money. Chat, my ass is about to explode. I just ate Chipotle. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
it was now or never.
So starting today, I have left my job and I will now be streaming full time on twitch.tv/Ludwig Ogren.
In his first full month as a streamer, Ludwig really just stuck with what he knew: Super Mario, Pokemon, and other closely related games. Day after day he went live and began to build a bit of a following. By the end of the month, the stats were honestly pretty solid. He streamed for a total of 145 hours, averaged 251 viewers, and made a little over $2,800. A great start at his new job. Now from this point forward, I'd say there were 3 big booms that really skyrocketed Ludwig's online career. And the first was in June of 2019.
We have 2 off-limit things you guys aren't allowed to talk about. 1, chest hole. 2, the pimple, okay? That's it.
It's ringing.
I heard you have a chest hole.
What the chat?
Cutie Cinderella was a fellow Twitch streamer who at the time was actually a bit more well-known than Ludwig. And as you longtime fans may already know, they to this day...
Is Ludwig actually trans or something? Like, is...
They have remained close friends. Now, let's be
I thought
clear.
he was trans. I don't know. I was like, okay.
This stream wasn't a viral explosion moment, but it was the spark, the start of a pivot. Ludwig began shifting away from purely Melee-centric content and leaning into a wider range of ideas that showed off his personality and charisma. Story times, over-the-top reactions, and monumental series like letting chat spend my money and try not to laugh.
I can never wear this in public.
The summer of 2019 was spend my money and try not to laugh.
I can never wear this in public.
The summer of 2019 was a huge swing in momentum, and by December, Ludwig had cracked over 3,000 average viewers and amassed more than 125,000 Twitch followers.
I've literally gone up 100 viewers saying nothing, just sitting in the just chatting section looking all cute as hell.
2020 kicked off with an unexpected boom, not just for Ludwig, but for content creators across the board.
The breaking news, stay at home. That is the order tonight from 4 state governors as the coronavirus pandemic spreads.
COVID sucked, there's no doubt about it. But while the world shut down, the internet lit up. Twitch didn't just grow, it exploded, practically tripling overnight. And Ludwig, he was strapped in and ready to ride the wave. His breakout moment came with PogChamps, an online chess tournament hosted by Chess.com that turned Twitch into the world's nerdiest coliseum. 16 streamers, names like XQC, Moist Critical, and of course Ludwig, duking it out for a $10,000 prize pool and digital bragging rights. PogChamps caught fire. Overnight, it became the event on the internet. Ludwig got knocked out of the top bracket early, sure, but the real show started in the loser's bracket.
You want to do a little side wager? I'll give the 100 subs if you beat me.
Easy money.
He clawed his way to the semifinals, where he took down XQC and then hit the grand finale, a face-off with Moist Critical. Over 72,000 viewers tuned in live. It was by far Ludwig's most watched stream ever, smashing his previous peak by over 56,000. He lost the final in Game 3, but it didn't matter, because Ludwig was becoming a household name.
I am Ludwig, Knight of the Moguls, fighter for the free. What do we stand for? Love, life, and subscribing to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ludwig Ogren.
From there, he latched on to breakout trends like Among Us, kept the content flowing with Cutie Cinderella, and started rolling out new segments, an original series that turned his channel into a goldmine of viral moments and inside jokes. Every week, there was something new, something shareable, memeable, unforgettable.
Yeah, shirtless 10-year-old in my room. Woo!
But it wasn't just the content, it was the grind. From July through December, Ludwig streamed like a machine. Out of the 183 days, he was live for 175. That's only 8 days off in 6 months. And it paid off. By the year's end, he had cracked 1 million followers on Twitch and 1 million subs on YouTube. 2 platforms, 2 huge milestones, and 1 relentless creator. Then came February, and that streak ended. You see, Ludwig had planned a quick vacation, a quick visit with family back home and a ski trip in Maine. Time to chill, relax, reset. But on the first night, things went sideways. His appendix had nearly burst. Emergency surgery, the whole 9 yards. Everything went fine, thankfully, but he was forced to take a few weeks off. When he finally returned, something was off. The numbers dipped. Viewership slid. Not catastrophic, but definitely noticeable. Maybe it was the fear of going back to a normal job, or maybe it was ego. But either way, something inside of Ludwig snapped. Because what he did next didn't just bring the viewers back, it made history.
Boys, today, for the first time ever, we are going to do an uncapped subathon.
So for those of you not familiar with Twitch or streaming in general, a subathon is a special kind of marathon live stream on Twitch, where the length of the stream increases every time someone subscribes to the channel. On Twitch, a subscription, or sub, is a paid monthly support tier, generally costing about $5, but it gives viewers perks like ad-free viewing, exclusive emotes, and badges, plus it directly supports the streamer financially. Now, typically streamers put a cap on their subathon, meaning no matter how many subs roll in, the stream ends at a set time. But Ludwig, he didn't bother with a cap. His stream would keep going for as long as chat kept feeding the timer. Here's how it worked. Every new sub added 30 seconds to the stream, and when he first hit go live, the clock was set at 30 minutes. That's it, half an hour. Just a few minutes later, the timer had already climbed to 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 35 seconds. Quick math for you, that translates to 193 subs and roughly $965 in just minutes. For the next 31 days, Ludwig lived on camera. Every moment, every mundane detail of his life was shared with tens of thousands of viewers. He gamed, he cooked, he worked out, he showered in shorts, thank God, and he slept. But even when he slept, the stream didn't stop. Every time Ludwig went to bed, he'd wake up finding the timer even longer than before. 30 hours, 40, 50.
The thing says 60 hours, which seems a little high.
By day 10, Ludwig wasn't just streaming. He was dominating the internet, the most watched man on Twitch, and all he was doing was living his life. After 2 weeks, the subathon had outgrown its humble beginnings, and with no end in sight, Ludwig and the team decided to cut the time added per sub in half, from 20 seconds down to just 10. And yet, the timer would not die. Even when Ludwig stepped away, leaving the stream in the hands of his friend Slime, the audience only grew. Slime hosted chaotic trucking simulators in full Bass Pro cosplay. The boys ripped for hours, and it was so stupidly fun that viewers were more hooked than ever. By early April, Ludwig's subathon had crossed into uncharted territories. Donations spiked, viewers rallied, and eventually Ludwig and the team decided to hard cap the stream at 31 days. And because of that, a new goal emerged: to break the record. On April 13th, with the timer no longer extending and tens of thousands watching, the number ticked upward. Ludwig had officially become the most subscribed Twitch streamer of all time. The last few hours were surreal. Tension gave way to nostalgia. The race car bed was destroyed in celebration. Donations poured in, not for time, but for charity. Ludwig pledged over $350,000 to causes like St. Jude's and the Humane Society. Then, as the timer hit 0, Ludwig sat quietly in front of his camera. No grand finale, no gimmicks. Just a salute and a screen fading to black for the first time in a month. The subathon pulled over 283,034 active subscribers, generated millions of hours watched, and launched a new format that many would imitate, but few would ever match. It was a once-in-a-lifetime moment, and Ludwig knew it. The thing no one tells you about blowing up online is what comes next. Everyone's ready for the rise, the subscribers, the headlines, the attention, all focused in one direction: you. In the content world, most creators only get one act. You blow up, you ride the high, and eventually you fade. It's nothing personal, it's just the nature of the game.
Here's what happened. The subathon ended, and I got 283,000 subs. I was the most sub streamer, bunch of media attention around it. I had the highest viewers I've ever had, 200,000 people watching live at one moment. The most subs anyone's ever had ever. I was like, dope. I cried from joy. And obviously, like, for that month, I was like the biggest Twitch streamer. And I thought after that, I was like, I made it. Red carpet. All right, paparazzi. I thought from then on, I was gonna be the biggest streamer in the world. And I wasn't. I fell off drastically. Like crashed down to almost less than I had before I even did the subathon. I had the biggest fall off anyone's ever had, in fact, on Twitch. I went from 280,000 subs to 0, which no one's ever done.
But Ludwig wasn't interested in being another character in that game. Instead, he decided to take the controller and make his own.
Post-subathon, there was also a moment where your Twitch contract ends.
Yeah, the subathon had kind of wrapped up and the contract was ending, and I started to talk to Twitch and we chatted. It didn't feel like Twitch wanted me as much as I thought maybe they should. Maybe self-righteously, I thought like they should want me. I'm the most subbed guy. And I started to rethink if I wanted to be on Twitch.
I would still have viewers if I was bald.
No, you would not.
Yeah, people like me because I'm witty and I'm bilingual.
Yeah, so am I.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah? What language you speak?
American Sign Language.
Prove it.
Thank you.
Everyone knows that.
Cat.
That was kind of impressive.
Father. You know what poop is? Huh. It's pretty much the same one.
Yeah, it's just like a different color.
Yeah. Just want to take that home?
Let's go.
Ludwig didn't see his YouTube deal as a platform switch. He saw it more as a blank canvas. Not the kind you see in a museum where the final painting is already a perfectly crafted Mona Lisa, but the kind you use when you're about to watch a Bob Ross how-to because you don't know the first thing about painting.
YouTube, I mean, they make you feel like you're having drinks with your buds at the table. And so talking with them more and more, I started to feel better about it.
With YouTube backing him, he suddenly had the freedom to try anything, and that's exactly what he did. He wanted a space where he could talk about whatever he wanted. No chat weighing in live, no stress of getting banned on his main channel again, and somewhere he felt comfortable uploading videos that would help him in creating content.
And this is the first time I've ever said this, but the reason that I created this channel in the first place is because I thought that I was going to start uploading videos on a different channel than the channel that I was live streaming from when I started my YouTube contract. And what it started to develop into is this channel became a place where I honed a skill that I was incredibly bad at, which is offline recordings.
Every Mogul Mail upload was a surprise. There was everything from life advice, to personal updates, to commentary about creator slop.
This is awkward, because this is 21 Savage who just released an album with Drake, scamming Aiden Ross out of thousands of dollars when he's worth eight something figures. It's a crazy thing to do even if you're not rich, but it's just extra levels of crazy when you are that rich, that famous, and also in front of 100,000 people.
At the same time, he was giving away pieces of the empire that he had built throughout the years, and he wasn't handing out pieces in charity, but in loyalty. Earlier that year, Ludwig and his friends Nick, Aiden, and Slime started The Yard.
I had an idea. We get our shit together, and we make a podcast.
So, what about calling it The Yard? Okay?
Oh, that's okay.
I don't know.
That's good.
I like that a lot.
That's a
hey,
good
you like
put
it?
her there.
Okay.
You did great.
How do you do this all the time?
Don't do this again. Don't do it.
Another good idea. I love this.
I don't know.
How do you always do it? How do you always do it?
I like it.
Just do it. Just get started.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
The Yard was his way of saying thank you, because for Ludwig, those three guys were more than just friends. They had been there before the spotlight ever found its way to him, and instead of leaving them behind, they sat down in a couple of lawn chairs, turned on the mics, and talked like the cameras didn't exist. And it popped, with every episode getting hundreds of thousands of views and a Patreon with almost 59,000 members. The Yard was printing more money than Ludwig knew what to do with, so splitting the near $250,000 a month only felt right. It wasn't just a podcast, it was profit sharing disguised as a hangout. But Ludwig didn't want to just make things, he wanted to enable others to do the same, to help creators whose ideas were bigger than their budgets.
That's cool. Ludwig sounds like a nice guy. I mean, I don't know him, but from what I hear from here, that's cool. It's cool of him to do that.
Company called Off-Brand, with the idea of making events for not just...
Oh, crap. I forgot the whole time I was on here.
myself, but other creators.
Off-Brand Studios was officially launched on September 27th, 2022, with big expectations for the future. Now, event production is no easy task. The logistics, live problem solving, and massive behind-the-scenes efforts make it a constant challenge. Lucky for Ludwig, he had experienced employees lined up at the door. There were multiple people staffed from his own company, Mogul Moves, and even Beyond the Summit, the same production company that he worked with throughout his entire career. Now, for those of you who don't know, Beyond the Summit was a production company that played a huge role in shaping the culture of esports. They held events for games like Dota 2, CSGO, Rocket League, and of course, both of the Super Smash titles. It was known as a community-driven company that cared equally about the fans and the players. But with the esports community taking a tumble, they were eventually forced to shut down in early 2023. But Off-Brand wasn't trying to be Beyond the Summit. Its goal wasn't to just host gaming tournaments, it was to challenge the norms of live streaming. For example, XQC's gaming show Juiced. Juiced was a game show where contestants would compete in games of wit and athleticism to win the final prize, which was basically to not get juiced. It wasn't a brand new idea, but for streaming, it was. And sure, the actual event was a little scuffed at the beginning, but for it being Off-Brand's first
What does that say? What does that say? Oh my god.
one, it was considered a success. Writing the success of Off-Brand, Ludwig's mindset was to do one thing: take streaming to places that couldn't even be imagined.
What's chess boxing?
The coolest sport ever, dude.
What?
It is one round of
Yeah.
chess, and then you switch for one round of boxing. And you alternate until somebody wins by checkmate or knockout.
The internet was split, one half eager with anticipation and the other laughing. But both sides ended up tuning in, with the stream getting 315,000 peak viewers, close to a full 100K more than his month-long subathon. The thought of the event was so far-fetched that it shouldn't have worked, and depending on how you look at it, it didn't. The chess boxing event lost close to $150,000 of Ludwig's own money, but it wasn't about profit. It was about what was possible, and that same thought process persisted through every event.
This was the coolest event I've ever been able to do, and I hope it was worth your time.
From the Streamer Games, a multi-day competition that felt as if the Olympics had a YouTube channel.
We won Ludwig Streamer Games, okay? Everyone's gonna call it rigged. It's not rigged.
To the Creator Dodgeball Tournament, it became evidently clear that everything Ludwig did had to be one thing: different. And for a while, that's exactly what Off-Brand was, a successful production company behind multiple events, many of which pulled a substantial viewership. But by late 2024, Off-Brand began to eerily resemble Beyond the Summit in more ways than one. Cracks started to show in a business model that proved nearly impossible to sustain. Production costs exceeded what most creators were willing on a business model
Why does he have an extra fucking hand behind him?
that proved nearly impossible to sustain. Production costs exceeded what most creators were willing or able to pay. In the end, the combination of an unstable industry and financial mismanagement led Off-Brand to officially shut down on December 13th, 2024.
Unfortunately, yesterday we had to announce that we are closing down the production side of Off-Brand.
Womp womp. No, I'm playing. That's crazy.
In a space obsessed with being bigger, faster, louder, Ludwig's secret weapon is that he's never pretended to be anything that he's not. It's not talent. Plenty of people are talented. It's not discipline. He streams maybe 4 hours a day.
My ideal dream is that I stream 4 hours, 6 days a week, right? I have done maybe 4 hours, 6 days this month, okay? And the month is damn near over.
It's not luck. He's made his fair share of mistakes. What makes him stick out among a crowd is how little he hides. How he not only shares his wins, but also his losses. He made the Yard's Patreon numbers public, helped creators' ideas come to life, and paved the way for others to follow. At the same time, he's admitted to hating his second channel, Mogul Mail.
I don't like talking about these things. It's not like a big mood lifter for my day. In addition to not wanting to make stuff that I don't think is good, making stuff that is incredibly heavy has made it harder.
When his company Off-Brand eventually was forced to close its production branch, he didn't shy away about why.
So the issue was less that events don't make money, but more so that the appetite from creators for events of that scale at the cadence it would need to be would not allow people to be employed full-time.
He's been brutally honest about his fears of parasocial relationships with his fans.
You shouldn't form a relationship with me. At the end of the day, I'm entertainment. If I stop entertaining, you stop watching. That's it.
A lot of creators lean into parasocial relationships, acting like the chat is just one of the boys, and if they ever met in real life, that they would be the best of friends. But in actuality,
none of your content creators, your favorite ones, including me, are your friends.
He pushed the narrative that you don't really know your favorite creator, and that's okay.
Yeah, I feel like even coming on this show could promote social relationships if I'm being too real.
Yeah.
And then they're like, damn, Ludwig's so real, I actually like him now. And then they give me their money. And they're like, I love you, and then they're my DMs, Dr. K.
Even on stream, he isn't playing up an online character. Some days he shows up with no plan, no prepped content, no setup bits that have to be executed at a certain time. He'll play a random game, react to other creators' videos, or ask chat what they want to do. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes it can be less than thrilling. Other times it can be hilariously entertaining, but it's always authentic. Because unlike so many creators obsessed with maintaining the illusion of control, Ludwig seems fine admitting that he doesn't always know what the hell he's doing.
So how are you finding fulfillment in other areas of your life then? You said your girlfriend, you said your job, helping out other people. Let's get down to like some specifics of what you've seen make a measurable difference on your happiness.
Seeing everybody at the office gives me a lot of joy, and making a cool show and then doing the picture at the end where we all group up.
I've become an old man in some ways. Like the things that make me the most happy in my day-to-day outside of like personal relationships is like getting a coffee, walking and going to watch the sunset. I think that I find peace in those things.
At the end of the day, if anything bad happens in life, someone else had it worse. And I think that you can just look at the positives. If I believe that I'll fall off and everyone will fall off, then why have ego in viewership? Why not just ride it out as best you can for however long the ride lasts?
Okay, so you're just assuming that things are going to fall apart at some point. But it also sounds like falling apart doesn't really sound like falling apart. Like things will end, but there's like a connotation with falling apart that you don't really lean into too much.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how it'll end. It could end very gracefully and beautifully. It could also be my terabyte hard drive of me saying slurs that gets leaked. Whatever it is, less gracefully.
Ludwig, look at me in the eyes. What are you trying to say? You got a terabyte of you saying slurs? A whole terabyte of storage? Put that in perspective. My PlayStation 5 don't even got that shit, bro. And you mean to tell me a whole terabyte? Ludwig, come on, man. Come on, Ludwig. Come on, bro. You didn't expose yourself. You didn't expose yourself.
But I think either results, it would work out.
W video, but I don't know about that shit at the end. That stunt that he pulled. I don't know about that. Okay, W video. Man,
Stay inside. Lock your doors. There's a maniac on the loose. And just like that scene in SpongeBob, the maniac is me. There is someone impersonating me out there right now I just learned about that cooked up a nefarious galaxy brain scheme that would put Gru to shame here. This is despicable. He dug deep into the neurons for this one, I'll tell you what. He created a fake email called moist.pr and has sent presumably hundreds of emails to every video game company, every app, it seems, and maybe just every company in general at this point. You know, sleep in fear because you might be receiving an email from the dastardly Pinhead Larry, moist.pr. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he sent emails to dog food companies, and what he's doing is he's asking for free product for the sake of his review. And today, one of the companies that reached out trying to confirm if this is real or if they're being played like a fiddle sent me one of the original emails that he tossed their way. Hi there, I'm Charlie. This is my request for one review key for Legacy Steel and Sorcery for Steam, my channel, Moist Critical Gaming Official. Thanks, then followed by a quirky little smiley face that some high schooler would be sending to someone he's trying to ask to prom. And that has been, variations of this have been sent to...
No way motherfuckers actually, like, fell for that shit, though. I can't believe it. And they ask, is this you? Bro, Moist Critical Gaming Official? Are we dead ass? I guess.
Innumerable companies to try and get review codes for games and apps. And probably tons more things. Now, if you've got some keen peepers on you, you might be able to read between the lines here and recognize that's not my voice coming through there in the email. That's the voice of a prepubescent little criminal. It sounds like it's written by an actual 12-year-old here. Yeah. Hi there, I'm Charlie. Now, first of all, it's a high-quality forgery, don't get me wrong, but there's a couple of things that kind of immediately raise red flags. Why, if this is a Moist Critical PR email, would Moist Critical be the one behind it? At that point, why wouldn't Moist Critical just be sending the emails himself instead of setting up his own PR email? The whole point of a PR thing is that it's other people handling it for whoever it is. So why, in this case, would the Moist Critical PR agency just be Charlie? That doesn't make a ton of sense. It smells pretty fishy, but apparently it went through proper channels for some companies and they wanted to verify the authenticity of it because they wanted to be sure that it wasn't fraudulent. And obviously it's not authentic or anything, but it does make you wonder, a little food for thought, how many companies maybe received this and then just sent over the product for free without, you know, double checking if it was real or not, because maybe this isn't something that's super common, I really don't know. But Matt had received emails like this. Hello Matt, I work on the marketing team at CGE. We got an email from moistcritical.pr requesting 3 codes for a review of our Through the Ages app. So this time he was a little more gluttonous. He was looking for 3 codes this time around, I'm guessing for him and his buddies at the lunch tables. Before sending them over, I just wanted to reach out and verify the legitimacy of the request and that it came from Charlie or someone on the team. If so, we would be more than happy to supply the codes for the game. Very, very sweet of them, and very nice of them to double check before sending it out. They're not the only company that did it, but this is just one of the emails I wanted to show an example of. This, it has been a song and dance apparently that's been going on for a little...
No way. I gotta give props to little bro for even thinking of something like this, because bro said, hey, what if I pretend to be Moist Critical and we can get some free Steam games? Like, what? What little kid thinks of that, and what little kid actually goes through with that plan?
While now, Matt just told me about it today because apparently it's becoming even more common, so I'm guessing that he's found some kind of success and is continuing to do it even more aggressively now, which is pretty interesting to think about, and something that I didn't even consider as a possibility. Just playing a game of pretend where you LARP as a YouTuber or something and just try and get some free shit out of it. Because most of these things happen between agencies. Like, the developers themselves aren't usually the ones distributing free codes to, you know, online content creators. It's usually whatever agency is managing that. And then usually someone representing a content creator, like a streamer or something, an agency, would be the one to reach out on their behalf for a review code for them to play the game or whatever. And judging by the amount of emails Matt's received from companies concerned and questioning, is this valid? Like, is this a real thing that we just received? It does appear that there is just, you know, this exploitation that is possible here. Obviously not the biggest deal in the world. At the end of the day, maybe this guy gets a couple of free games out of it. Well, I actually don't know. Maybe he got a ton of free shit out of it. I have no clue. I just found it to be very...
You gotta respect the hustle at the end of the day. Lil Jit is actually doing something.
Wild that this has been going on, I guess, for quite some time. So yeah, just as a general rule of thumb, if you ever receive an email from the Moist Critical PR agency here, you can just wipe your ass with it immediately. It's not me. If you ever receive something fishing for some free review codes claiming to be from the old House of Charles, that's not me. I don't get review codes and I don't ask for review codes. Even on like the very rare occasions where I do like a sponsored stream, like for Dying Light the Beast, for example, they do give like free copies of the game. I don't even use the free copies. I still just buy the product itself. Because even though that stream is sponsored, I still want to play the game as an actual buyer of the product. So that way when I have an opinion on it, it is still as someone who literally spent their money on it. As opposed to it being potentially a skewed perspective on the product because it was something that was given to them for free or something. But that's just a personal choice. The point I'm making here is, if you receive an email from someone claiming to be me asking for some free shit, it's probably not me. You could be pretty certain, you can bet your sweet bippy that it's not actually coming from me.
You bet.
Anyway, that's really about it.
Sweet bippy, I did. You bet your sweet bippy, I did. W video, that shit is funny. How stable Ronaldo became a top 20 streamer.
If you asked 100 kids what their dream job is, statistically, more than half of them have the same response. Influencer. But less than 1% who try will ever make it. Money, fame, status, to achieve this is bliss. But the brightest dreams leave the darkest ashes when they fall.
Just can't do it anymore, bro. I just can't do it anymore, bro. I can't do it anymore, bro.
Falling off is a lot like quicksand. The harder you fight, the faster it pulls you under. It's not just about losing followers or views, it's about losing your place in a world that moves on without you. And the harder you push to reclaim what you've lost, the more it feels like you're slipping further out of reach. But luckily for Stable Ronaldo, this story isn't about a one-hit wonder. Ronnie Nets, or better known as Stable Ronaldo, comes from a new generation of influencers. One that grew up on the internet, watching their favorite creators since they were 10 years old, just waiting and dreaming of their own opportunity. And that opportunity for Ronaldo came in the shape of Fortnite.
Nick, what's the game called? It's called Fortnite. It's free.
Now, I'd imagine just about everyone here has at least heard of Fortnite, but the sheer scale of that game was unlike anything we've ever seen. The Battle Royale game mode was released in late 2017, and by early 2018, it had turned from a video game into a cultural phenomenon. With 125 million active users 8 months after release, it seemed like everywhere you looked,
Fortnite.
There it was. You couldn't open Snapchat without Battle Royales. It was all over the news, TV. Some of the most famous internet creators ever emerged from this game.
Yo, we need that, my man. Hold on, chat. We need that.
And they drove Fortnite's popularity through the stratosphere.
Yeah, Gigi, you got band-aids?
Band-aids?
Old as hell.
So,
Athletes, celebrities, brands, everyone was latching on to the viral rocket ship that was Fortnite. Epic Games redefined what was possible in the gaming world, creating partnerships with media titans like Disney, hosting in-game concerts with Travis Scott that over 12 million people attended. Countless records that this game set still hold strong to this day. Ninja is still the most followed person on Twitch. Despite leaving the platform in 2019, he's still 4 million followers clear of Kai Cenat.
What?
He's still 4.
What the fuck? play. Bye.
Million followers clear of Kai Cenat.
Wait, Ninja
But
stopped
tying this back into
streaming
stable
on
Ronaldo,
Twitch.
Fortnite had a developing competitive scene.
does he stream
In
on now?
2019, they
YouTube?
hosted the Fortnite World
Kick?
Cup in a sold-out arena with
I don't see him
23,000
on
watching
Kick. I
in
don't see him
person
on
and
Kick.
another 2.3 million viewers watching online. The game's top players competed head-to-head for a piece.
Damn. He still streams, right? What the fuck are they talking about? Nigga streamed yesterday. What the fuck is bro yapping about? Oh, he came back though. That's why.
In 2019, they hosted the Fortnite World Cup in a sold-out
Oh,
arena
that
with
World Cup, bro, I
23,000
remember
watching
that.
in person and another 2.3 million viewers watching online. The game's top players competed head-to-head for a piece of the $30 million prize pool. Now, Ronaldo placed only 170th in this tournament, but from there, he quickly excelled. 5 months later, at the next major...
Why do y'all think Fortnite genuinely got so popular? Why do y'all think that is? Because genuinely, I'm like trying to think about it, and it's like it was literally just a fucking like a shooter, and it just got so popular for some reason. Maybe the kid-friendly aspect. And then it was like kind of like a game that wasn't meant to be taken serious, and it was like a never heard of gimmick building. Maybe, I don't know, man, but that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy.
Fortnite event, Ron and his 3 teammates took home first place at the FNCS Grand Finals. And with that came a check of $200 grand.
Okay, so when you made that money, what was the first thing you spent your money on?
I bought off-white UNCs.
All of a sudden, at
Not
just
that
16
bad,
years old,
out of
this kid's
200K.
making more than most people's annual salary by playing Fortnite over the weekend. He's a top name
Out
in
of
the biggest
200K,
esport
actually,
in the
that's not bad at all. I would have done the same thing, I'm not gonna lie.
entire world. So what does he do? He starts streaming it, grinding YouTube, playing the content game, and his success was virtually instant.
Like I got like 50 viewers off the bat because people obviously heard about my name. Everyone was like, "Oh, you won the tournament. You must be good, so we're gonna watch you." And
For
then
your gameplay.
Yeah.
In his first month of streaming, Stable Ronaldo would gain over 15,000 Twitch followers and peaked at 9.
That's bad though, because then niggas is only gonna ask for Fortnite. And then when the nigga don't want to play Fortnite, bro, people like, you know.
1,510 viewers in just one stream. Almost overnight, he had successfully capitalized on one of the single largest internet waves ever, and the timing couldn't have been better.
Breaking news, stay at home. That is the order tonight from 4 state governors as the coronavirus pandemic spread.
Now, COVID sucked, we all know that, but with the entire world stuck
What's
inside
that?
their homes, social media traffic skyrocketed. Within the first few weeks of quarantine, online browsing increased by 70%.
Honestly, it's kind of COVID's fault for TikTok being so fucking diluted. And it's maybe not diluted, but like saturated. What the fuck? Shit. Flakes shot. Wait. I can't even see it. I can't even see it. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know.
And streaming platforms like
That's
Twitch
saturated.
saw an increase of 80% in total watch time hours gained, and Ronaldo cashed in on this momentum. He began collaborating with other massive names in Fortnite like
Ah!
Army, Kronikov, and his fan base grew tenfold. By August of 2020, Ron had more than 600,000 followers on Twitch, and he got there in less than a year. When he first started out, Ronaldo was known as more of a competitive player, but to hang with the best, it really was a never-ending grind. You're constantly having to improve, or you'll get eaten alive. Ron realized he was beginning to fall behind the curve and shifted his focus from being the best competitor to fully embracing the content creator role. And this shift really unlocked a new side of Ronaldo's personality. He switched things up a bit, loosened up his content, rolled out new series like Watch Parties. Some of his most memorable moments of all time came from this era. I'd say it was somewhere around this time that Ron had really solidified himself as a top streamer in the entire world. Consistently averaging 10, 20, and even 30,000 viewers every time he went live, there were few names ahead of him on the charts. The content creator money far exceeded what he was making on the competitive side. At just 17 years old, Ronaldo had done it. He had achieved what every
Oh my god, chat. The dog actually got me, bro. I thought that
every time he went live, there were few names.
Because like I
ahead of
saw
on
him at
charts.
the last
The
second
content
when he
creator
fell.
money far
I thought that he was gonna hit his fucking nutsack on the damn thing, and then when he fell, I just see, oh, what happened to the dog?
exceeded
And
what
then
he was
like falls over.
making on the
And I'm like, oh.
competitive
Yeah.
side. At just 17 years old, Ronaldo had done it. He had achieved what every kid dreams of. He was a full-time influencer, and he was making millions. But it wasn't long before the cracks began to appear. The world was reopening from quarantine. Fortnite's player base was dwindling, and honestly, it seemed that Ron's ego was leading to his own demise.
I came up so quickly that like I took advantage of it, but like to be honest with you, I was humble, but I wasn't. I'm making so much money. I'm young. I was like, bro, I could like swipe my card and it's gonna work every time. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, I could have 10,000 viewers, 20,000 viewers, 30,000 viewers, and they're all gonna watch no matter what.
And then when I started to notice viewership go down, I was like, damn, I don't even want to go live, to be honest.
You see, social media is an unforgiving stage. Every influencer and creator out there has a shelf life. Whether you once loved their vlogs or their personality captivated an entire generation, inevitably, we as an audience get bored, forget, we move on.
Once you lose your core community, you lose your fan base, and that's how it is.
In late 2022, Stable Ronaldo realized that the first domino to this nightmare scenario had fallen. With viewership in a continuous decline and a soul-crushing breakup, Ron's mental health...
I'm not even gonna lie, chat. That's another reason why I was kind of late, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm bullshitting on this stream, because yesterday I was so fucking late, and I felt like, cause like, okay, if I look at my like statistics now, hold on, I'm gonna pull them up. If I look at my statistics now, every stream, no stream has got likes other than one, which I liked and Armand liked. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm not gonna lie about it. But everyone got like, I'm trying to see. It won't show me, but everything got views. So like my first one got what? Motherfucker, why can't I check it? Damn. Analytics. Engagement, audience. For unique. Hold on. Motherfucker, I don't know. I can't even check. But basically, everyone got like at least 10 views, which is pretty good for me on streams because like, you know, and it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 streams. I'm doing good. And then the other one really tanked and got 1 or 2 or 0. And this one got 1. And it kind of like discourages me, chat, because I'm like, damn, you know, if motherfuckers isn't gonna be watching it. Like, honestly, I didn't expect people to like watch my shit off the bat, you know. But it genuinely, I don't know. It just kind of like, I don't know, it didn't hurt, but it was like, I guess once, anyway, but yeah, I mean, I didn't expect anybody to watch it, but then when people did, that's when I was like, oh, okay, well, people are going to be watching it, then this is going to be cool. And then the fact that I expect that every day now, especially how not low, but how unpopular I am, obviously. I mean, unpopular. I don't even know what the fucking word is, but you know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that the fact that, you know, I'm not fucking, I'm not like, you know, I'm a small creator. There you go. I'm like, as small of creator I'm in my own little box. You know, it kind of still kind of like, it's like, oh, well, I got 11 viewers, 12, 15, no, 14. That's pretty good, right? And then just to go all the way down to 0 kind of hurts. And I think it's my fault for being so late. So what I'm probably going to do that I'm thinking now is probably, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep, I have to think. Because I either keep the grind going or I take a break. I want to take a break, chat. What's today? Give me 2 days, chat. Give me a 2-day break. And we're going to stream today. And give me a 2-day break to edit clips, you know, clip my stream and clip my stream, clip it, and then I don't know, and then just unwind and like figure out what I'm trying to do because I want to entertain people, man. And I don't know, I just can't entertain people, obviously, if people don't watch. It's not about viewership. I just want people, I just want to make people laugh, man. You know, that's my form of therapy. And I just want to give other people that, you know. It's never about the numbers, chat. Fuck the numbers, bro. Real talk. And I know it sounds kind of hypocritical because I say fuck the numbers, but then on the same breath talking about I don't have enough viewers. But what I'm trying to say is that if I don't know, if I don't get viewers, I don't entertain people. I don't care about the money, man. I don't care about the money. Probably what I want to do, I don't know what I want to do in life. I probably want to, I just had it, but then I forgot. But yeah, I don't know what I want to do in my life right now yet. I forgot about it today, so probably remember it again. But what I will say is that, you know, things that discourage me, like the internet or the bad streaming thing, and I can't even stream on Twitch. And I want to stream on Twitch. That's the only thing I want to do now. I wanted to multi-stream, but now I want to just go on Twitch. It's just kind of like, I don't know, hard to keep going. Not to keep going, but just, it's like kind of like discouraging, you know? Hold on. But it's just the fact that I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of hard to keep going when my viewership got so fucking bad, and it's because it's my fault. I think it's my fault. Maybe it's just that I'm not getting pushed, you know, on the on the recommended page, on the front page of YouTube, or you know, whatever. Maybe it's that, but I don't know. Y'all will. I hope the good Lord, you know, wakes me up, and so I can, you know, get back on stream Friday. But with that being said, I don't know. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Is just try to unwind, make clips, and try to figure out a way how to fucking stream on Twitch, bro. Real talk. But yeah, let's continue though.
Health spiraled to a dark place.
First girlfriend broke up with me. I was losing money. I was complete opposite side of the world for my family. my career was like really low, and I kind of just sat inside all day, and I was like,
For how long?
it was bad. It was like 9 months.
There's so many nights where I wanted to myself.
I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying to stream every single day. I'm trying to get 10 hours a day, bro. It's hard, man. It's hard when I wake up and I look in the mirror and I see disappointment, bro. I'm a failure, bro.
I just used to feel so good about myself, and it felt like the internet would tear me down for every small thing.
Before I started my stream today, I was just so sad, and you know, I don't know. I just I wasn't depressed, but I was just like wow, like I hate my life type of thing.
Every single thing I did, if I went live, the whole chat would be like, why do you have 700 viewers? Why do you have 800 viewers?
Bro, it gets to you. Like some nights I'm like thinking, I'm just like, wow, like I'm just, like people hate me, or like people like I get emotional sometimes. Like it's crazy because people don't think it gets to you, but it does. It really does.
And I've been just like faking being happy on stream. I'm just gonna be straight up.
A lot of people told me I fell off.
He tried to be an IRL streamer and failed miserably.
I was like really low on my career. I wasn't making money, and I was like, oh.
Ninja need to shut the fuck up. Ninja is cool for helping Fortnite's popularity and doing what he did, but that motherfucker is like just always like fucking talking about someone jealous, bro. Cause I remember he's also talking shit about Kai. He's talking shit about Ronaldo. He's also talking shit about somebody else. I forgot. He said he was basically backhanding he was backhanding compliment Kai, talking about some like, he's the biggest streamer now. He broke the record. Like, oh, good for you, I get. He was being a dickhead, bro. Ninja's a dickhead.
I thought nothing could get better. I thought it was the end. I remember telling my mom I don't know what to do. I was praying every day.
It was like a downfall after the new phase for like a whole year during 2023. And then Fortnite announced OG Fortnite.
In November 2023, OG Fortnite was released, and with it came a wave of over 100 million players eager to relive the nostalgic moments they had made just a few years ago.
That sparked like millions and millions and millions and millions of people. So I was like, damn, I'm gonna take advantage of this because I was like a Fortnite streamer back then.
This was one of the biggest blow-ups ever for a video game in a long time, and I remember seeing this and I was like, holy, I go, this is my last chance to try this again and give it my all.
I remember the first 2 weeks I was averaging still like 1,000 to 2,000 viewers, and everyone around me, like Clicks was averaging like 60K to 100K, Mongrel was averaging like 50K.
Holy crap.
And it was so intimidating because I was going in there with, 500, 800 viewers, which is still good. It was intimidating because I was known as one of the big dogs at the time, and now it's like,
damn, like everyone's coming back besides me.
I challenged myself to not care about the numbers and stream for 250 hours minimum.
So every single day I streamed 10 hours straight. So it was like 250 to 300 hours. I think I took like 2 days break because I got banned or something like that. And I gained like 180 to 220,000 like followers on Twitch that month, which is crazy.
That's huge.
And I started averaging like 5K viewers again.
And it slowly started to come to me. Blessings on blessings. I started collabing with bigger streamers. I started collabing with like Speed, Clicks, all my friends.
Some nights I would get 7,000 viewers. The next night I would get like 8,000. Then it'd be like 5,000, 6,000. Then there's some nights where I even had 10,000. And those were like the first times I've ever seen it in like years. When it clicked in my head, I was like, I can really take advantage of this and come back. I started to. So I started streaming nonstop Fortnite again. And then I was like, I'm gonna do it the right way this time. I'm gonna leave Fortnite properly. It happened like so naturally. Like unironically, I think it happened when I bought my car.
Just about every kid has a car that comes to mind when they get asked, what's your dream car? But most never have the chance to one day own it.
Introducing my 2023 992 911 GT. Once I got the GT3 on my birthday, I averaged 25,000 viewers.
And you were IRL streaming?
That's the thing, I was IRL streaming, and then I was doing it after that, and people were still watching. It was like 15,000, 20,000 people were still watching.
And it clicked in my head. People like me for me. They love seeing me win.
So then the next day, instead of just getting on Fortnite, I just did another IRL segment.
Somebody sell like shit!
And I had like 10,000 to 12,000. And then so on and so forth. It just kept happening, And I would slowly start to like stop playing Fortnite every single day. And honestly, it worked out perfectly. Like, I don't remember how it happened, but it just one day I just stopped playing.
Call it a coincidence, but at the same time Ron was rebranding himself, FaZe was in the process of completely restructuring the entire organization. You see, FaZe has been in the game for a long time, and they've had their ups and downs, but the one thing they've always done is find a way to entertain the masses. It had become increasingly difficult to stick out in the gaming world since everyone and their mother saw the prize money players were getting for just being good at video games. It seemed like every kid was grinding before school, after school, on the weekends, with the hopes of one day making millions of dollars playing their favorite video game. And with an increase in supply of gaming meant the demand starts to dwindle. It started to become more and more evident that IRL streaming was up next. You had names like Kai Cenat, Hassan, Trainwrecks, all averaging tens of thousands of viewers per stream. And like I said before, FaZe always finds a way to entertain. In the restructuring of FaZe, they decided it was best to clean house. So out with the old and in with the new. Just a few months after Ron was brought onto the team, FaZe recruited a whole new cast of internet personas, including Jason, Lacey, Silky, and Max, which would inevitably become the start of the new FaZe era. Jason and Lacey were already friends with Ron at the time, because they had made content together in the past, but now they were going to be living together. Making viral clips would turn into just another day at the office.
We started to do this thing called clip farming, I guess.
The trend right now is clip farming, which is like you purposely try to go for something that's going to get posted on TikTok,
Instagram stuff, Twitter, whatever it is, but it's just who we are.
I don't care where I'm at. I don't care the context. Like, I'm a troll.
You came here to meet a 13-year-old. You sick man.
I was labeled as one of the people who's clip farming, which the joke came in that I'm the clip.
Lip sync. No, it ruins it. It's better. No, it's better if you don't lip sync. What are you talking about? How is it gonna go viral? I get paid phone. I know what goes viral. I am the clip.
The clip farming started to go viral. I started getting known for that, so people started tuning into my streams more and clipping what I did, which helped me obviously grow.
The snowball of success just wouldn't stop. In August of this year, FaZe announced their first major event since the rebranding. A month-long subathon where all 6 members of the new FaZe would be streaming 24 hours a day.
That's right. 30 days of continuous streaming with the FaZe Boys 24/7.
Are you kidding me? Yo, that's him.
The success of FaZe and Ron were conjoined at the hip, and as the group's numbers kept rising and rising, Ron was literally everywhere. By the time the subathon was over, all 6 of the members that were involved were ranked in the top 20 watch streamers of September, with Ron climbing the ranks all the way to the #1 spot.
Copying Kai in the goddamn U.
I didn't think I could come back this way. Like, I think anyone can do it. It was just my mindset. I was like, I can't quit. I was literally, that's it. Like, do I want to live knowing that, like, I quit on something, or, like, at least go out and try and give it my all?
At the end of the day, it's you versus you. Like, it sounds so cliche and corny, but, like, that mindset changed me, and it changed my mentality because I realized at the end of the day, nobody really is coming to save you. I could fall off again tomorrow, but I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do what I did right now. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep being great, and yeah, I'm gonna keep pushing. I love making content, and that's why I always love YouTube. I'm grateful for you guys giving me another opportunity at life even. Thank you guys for believing in me. Not enough creators talk about how grateful you need to be. I'm extremely grateful for every opportunity. I appreciate everyone watching this, even the haters, even people who hate on me.
Swear to God, when I mean this, I might get sad saying this. I gotta hide my face. I went through like such a rough year, and like the fact that y'all like supported me through it all, man, I really do appreciate it, like a lot. Damn, I didn't think I'd cry, but I really do appreciate y'all, bro. Like seriously, it's not even about the viewers. It's not about that. It's just the fact that like so many close people didn't give up on me, and I really do appreciate y'all, bro. For real.
W video, bro. W video. W Ron, W Ron, W video. Alright, next video. When the actor forgets he's acting.
You ever watch an actor so good at acting that you start to think maybe he forgot he's supposed to stop? That's Leonardo DiCaprio, a man who treats every scene like it's the last 5 minutes of oxygen on Earth. He's one of those actors who can't just be a standard leading man with a touch of charisma. He has to bleed for it. Crying, screaming, drooling, breaking things, breaking himself. DiCaprio performs like he's trying to summon an Oscar out of thin air. He's been mauled by a bear, drowned in dreams, beaten in Boston, tripping on decade-old lemons, hallucinating wives, and that's just a highlight reel of his Tuesday. Leo transforms into psychological disasters held together by sheer ego and nicotine. Watching him is like watching someone wrestle the idea of masculinity in real time. Loud, trembling, brilliant, and deeply exhausting. Before Titanic made him undeniable, The Basketball Diaries showed exactly why Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be a problem for every actor of his generation. As Jim Carroll, a high school basketball prodigy swallowed whole by heroin addiction, he delivers one of those performances that feels too raw to be scripted. You can see the real kid underneath the downward spiral, the charm, the swagger, the flashes of promise, but it's all rotting due to withdrawal and desperation. The film itself isn't perfect, but DiCaprio's performance doesn't need perfection to devastate you. He plays addiction as a series of dramatic highs and lows, as an erosion, a slow peeling away of self. Every scene feels like it's happening in real time, like he's genuinely unraveling right in front of you. Watch the breakdown scene, the one where he begs his mother to let him in. It's a cry from someone who doesn't know the camera's there. His voice cracks mid-sentence, his face collapses into itself, and it's so tragic that it stops feeling like acting altogether. There's a split second where he slams the door, and you can see this flicker of awareness in his eyes. He knows he's lost everything, but he's too far gone to care. That's DiCaprio before the polish, before the prestige. Pure, messy truth. He emulates that pathetic desperation so perfectly you'd think he got addicted in real life just to get a better picture. The beauty of that role is that it predicted everything about the actor he'd become. The commitment, the madness, the willingness to go to places most actors won't even touch.
That motherfucker is not pulling the goddamn trigger. He gonna go boom. That shit gonna go flying, bro. I don't know.
The
what
commitment,
bro
the
think
madness, the
think he
willingness
doing,
to
bro.
go to places most actors won't even touch. There's a reason The Wolf of Wall Street feels like DiCaprio's most unhinged performance, because it doesn't look like he's acting. It looks like he's reliving a past life. As Jordan Belfort, he embodies addiction as a spiritual condition. Every movement and coked-out grin, every slurred word on that yacht feels like someone trying to outrun their own reflection. You can tell DiCaprio didn't approach Belfort as a villain or a hero, but as a symptom of greed,
does his
of
head get
ego,
bigger?
of America's worship of wealth. What's most impressive is the physical
Y'all
storytelling.
notice that, chat? Leonardo DiCaprio's head got bigger after the years. I don't know why.
Watch the way his body unravels as
I don't
the
think it's
movie
him getting
progresses.
fat, is
The
it?
confident posture of the early scenes,
I don't know, maybe
so
it is.
filled with hope and innocence, slowly mutating into hunched, twitching chaos by the end. He's completely surrendered to the lifestyle that tears down any sense of purity in great men, ambition unchained. Even in moments of silence, you feel the panic simmering underneath his charm. The infamous Quaalude scene that YouTube copyrighted me to hell for last time. The crawling, the drooling, the desperate attempt to regain control is the anatomy of delusion. You can tell him and Jonah did some real trips in preparation for this cause. You can't fake that chemistry. DiCaprio weaponized humiliation the way other actors weaponize bravado. Scorsese's camera feeds off that energy. Long takes, restless tracking shots, as if trying to keep up with Belfort's heartbeat. Belfort isn't glamorous. Any attempt to portray that died as soon as he tried that baby powder for the first time. He's grotesque, and he knows it. When he stands before his employees, foaming at the mouth with pseudo-motivation, recited as if it came straight from the heart, it's not a performance of confidence. It's denial, performed by someone terrified of the silence that follows applause. Someone knows the fun won't last forever, but who cares, because it's all about the present moment. DiCaprio makes this con artist so magnetic. You hate him when he cheats on his wife, you laugh with him as he's trying to explain to his dad where all the money went, and you recognize him as a friend almost when he tries to turn over a new leaf. And in that last frame of the film, when he actually does turn his life around for the better, you can feel a tinge of nostalgia when he says,
"Sell me this pen."
Turns out the lifestyle that tore his life apart, the wackos he surrounded himself with, the terrible decisions he made,
What the hell?
were the
Nigga's
best moments of
fucking
his
it up.
life. You can't really go
Dang.
back to normal life after that.
Yo,
You get the
he's
sense
kinda
that
fucking
he'd
it
do
up.
anything, fucking anything, to go back to the glory days. To not be surrounded by those who didn't see the world for what it was, a great big game that had no rules, so there wasn't any point in trying to play by them. That's what makes this role a masterpiece of contradiction. He doesn't deliver a message, he delivers a mirror. Beneath the coke dust and money chants, you see every part of human greed stripped bare. This is why DiCaprio stands apart. Because he not only portrays corruption, he lets it live inside him for 3 hours straight and brings you along for the ride as if you're right alongside him from the moment he arrives on Wall Street. There are actors who perform pain, and then there's what DiCaprio does in The Revenant. This is endurance disguised as art, the kind that makes Christian Bale sit down and take notes. You can feel every frostbitten breath and torn ligament through the screen, as if the man's willpower itself became the protagonist. Hugh Glass isn't written to speak much, and that's exactly where DiCaprio thrives. The silence does the talking. The film strips him of language, vanity, and even identity until what's left is pure instinct, a primal drive to crawl, bite, and survive. This is Mads Mikkelsen's Arctic meeting Alexander Skarsgård's The Northman. Watch the way he moves after the bear mauling. Real, physical degradation. It's as if his body's forgotten how to be human. Pure submission. To nature, to suffering, to cinema itself. It's as if in preparation he spent 3 months in the glaciers with Ra's al Ghul teaching him to control his fear. You can tell he's not pretending to be cold. The pain reads as punishment, and that's where the brilliance lies. The Revenant is less about revenge than resurrection, and DiCaprio plays Glass like a man too stubborn to die. All his scenes feel haunted by a kind of desperate transcendence, the need to find meaning in endless pain. He communicates emotion through breath and stillness. Every grunt, trembling hand, and limp in the snow carries intention. When he drags himself from the river, covered in ice, gasping for air, it looks like lost satellite footage, as if Iñárritu just stumbled upon a man clawing his way through hell. That's the alchemy of The Revenant. DiCaprio is making us feel what survival costs. There's no vanity in it, no self-congratulation, just raw, animalistic persistence. The Oscar he finally got...
out of this movie, like, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but like, who's like, hey, I wonder like if we could just make a movie where Leonardo DiCaprio for an hour and 30 fucking minutes is just in the wild, not talking, just doing wild shit. Like, when they in their right mind was like, yeah, it's a good movie. He just started fucking writing it. Like, what?
For it feels almost beside the point, because what he did here was acting excellence. But it was also an excellent display of human endurance weaponized into art. He became Hugh Glass, the ghost that refuses to fade.
No yawn.
Inception is where DiCaprio's restraint meets grandeur. Nolan's labyrinth of dreams and exposition gives us DiCaprio's most emotionally disciplined performance. As Dom Cobb, he's not chasing money or glory, he's chasing peace. Peace from his family, peace from the not-so-distant memory of his wife, peace from himself. Nolan builds an empire of spectacle around him, collapsing cities, weightless hallways, folding realities, but DiCaprio isn't impressed by it as much as we or the other characters are anymore. At first, he seems a bit off, a bit muted. Like maybe it's going to be one of those performances where you can't really find an issue in it, but it's not as noteworthy compared to everything else he's done. But as you go through the movie, you realize something's off.
No yawn.
Ariadne's putting the pieces together just as we are. His strange rules, his ingenious solutions at every avenue, he's way too familiar with this. Then it all makes sense when you realize he's been in this world for 50 years too long, without even a wrinkle to show for it. Now, I don't know about you, but this is one of those moments in the film that really didn't get the weight it deserved. 50 fucking years. 50 years of bliss, of equilibrium, building the perfect life he could never have, all taken away from him in the blink of an eye. You can't really blame the film, though. It's got way too much to get to for us to really sit on that realization. You can only really appreciate this performance to its fullest on subsequent viewings, because now you understand why every line delivery carries exhaustion, the kind that seeps into the soul after years of guilt. His entire performance orbits around one emotional wound, the death of Mal, and he plays that grief with obsession. You can see it in the way his eyes flicker whenever her name is mentioned. This is madness disguised as determination. All the futile attempts to keep her alive, risking the lives of everyone on his team by not telling them the true extent of his grief, the extent to which he's still not ready to let go.
No yawn.
It almost costs him his life, the life that he wishes so desperately to return to. Throughout the film, we see him struggle with that choice, and he has his resolve in the time that it matters most. The man that nearly broke down when watching the woman he loves more than anything else in this world, end her life because of his mistake, finally understands that there's nothing he can do to atone for his transgressions. He can only move forward because he knows it's what she would have wanted. He knows that he must be there for his team, for his children, and most importantly, for himself. That's what makes Inception work, even through all its exposition-heavy dialogue, DiCaprio anchors it with emotional
I actually
gravity.
haven't seen Inception.
While the world spins around him, he gives the
I haven't seen a single Christopher Nolan movie other than the Dark Knight movies. Like, real talk. Like, I'm dead ass. I'm so dead ass. I haven't seen a single. Is it Oppenheimer or Oppenheimer? Oh, it's Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer. What other movies have you? Christopher Nolan. Yeah, I haven't seen Interstellar, Oppenheimer, Inception, The Odyssey, Tenet. I haven't seen any of these goddamn movies other than the Batman one. Oh, okay, well, I've seen Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. I haven't seen Justice League, though. Or have I? Maybe I have. I don't know. How long? No. How long is a fucking Zack Snyder cut? Zack Snyder's cut. 4 fucking hours, bro. Zack Snyder's cut. Zack Snyder's cut. Ah! No. I have to. Okay. That was last yawn. I'm going to inhale, consume. Oh, I've seen Doodlebug. That shit. That, like, it's a short story. That shit is weird as hell. Weird ass short film.
The spectacle. Shutter Island is the performance where DiCaprio's psyche begins human
That,
ache.
what's his name? Jeff. No. Jeff Hardy. Is it Tom Hardy? One of those is a fucking wrestler. Tom Hardy, right? Oh, he's the actor. Okay, Tom Hardy. Who's Jeff Hardy?
Beneath the spectacle.
felt good.
Shutter Island is the performance where DiCaprio's psyche begins to fracture in real time. Not because the script demands it, but because he builds Teddy Daniels from the inside out, peeling away his own skin in search of truth. It's one of those roles that looks straightforward, a U.S. Marshal investigating a disappearance at a mental institution, but the deeper you go, the more you realize you're watching someone lose their grip on both reality and themselves.
Bigger, bro.
DiCaprio's mastery here lies in his gradual unraveling. The twitch in his eye, every moment of misplaced anger, it all feels like a piece of a puzzle that doesn't quite fit. He carries the character with the confidence of a man who's sure he's in control, and yet his body betrays him. The way his shoulders tense when someone mentions his wife, or how his breathing subtly changes during the hallucinations. As the film spirals toward its devastating twist, DiCaprio's performance becomes almost unbearable to watch, because you start realizing that the investigation was never about finding anyone else. It was about finding himself. That final conversation with Mark Ruffalo, where the truth finally surfaces, plays like morning. His eyes glaze with recognition and regret all at once, like a man briefly waking up from a nightmare he secretly wants to return to.
Which would be worse?
He says,
to live as a monster, or to die as a good man?
And the line lands like a confession he's been building towards since the first frame. DiCaprio threads tragedy through the entire film, so that by the time you get there, it feels inevitable. This isn't the grandiosity of The Revenant or the cool intellect of Inception. This is raw, aching humanity, stripped of the heroic facade. I've watched so many thrillers at this point, since you can probably tell it's my favorite genre, but this is one of the few times a psychological thriller feels like open-heart surgery. And then there's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where DiCaprio does something few actors of his stature ever dare. He plays an insecure, washed-up version of himself. Rick Dalton is a fading star clinging to relevance in an industry that's already moved on. DiCaprio plays him with a stunning mix of vanity, self-loathing, and misplaced pride.
Maybe it's because
he's brilliant because he doesn't try to make Dalton cool. He lets him sweat, stutter, and crumble. Watch that trailer meltdown scene. He berates himself in the mirror, promising he'll quit drinking, calling himself a fucking embarrassment. And it's both pathetic and deeply human. That's the kind of vulnerability we rarely see from actors who've spent decades being idolized. It's DiCaprio weaponizing his own myth. But the beauty of his performance is in the recovery, the determination when he nails the scene on set the next day, the glimmer of pride returning to his face, the genuine relief when someone tells him he still got it. It's like watching an old lion remember his roar. Tarantino gives him all the room in the world to play with tone, and DiCaprio dances between humor and heartbreak effortlessly. He's ridiculous and raw at the same time, a man whose ego is both his armor and his prison. And in the film's final moments, when he finds himself invited into Sharon Tate's house, you realize he's found a kind of peace. Not the triumphant Hollywood comeback he dreamed of, but acceptance. In a career built on intensity and control, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is DiCaprio letting go, showing that even the biggest stars are terrified of fading away. It's not his flashiest performance, but it might be his most self-aware.
bad, chat.
In Blood Diamond, DiCaprio takes on what I believe to be his most overlooked self-aware.
Little girl looks
In Blood Diamond, DiCaprio takes on what I believe to be his most overlooked performance, his equilibrium, if you will. A gritty embodiment of a man drowning in his own contradictions. As Danny Archer, a smuggler who thrives in the moral wasteland of Sierra Leone's civil war, DiCaprio plays him as a survivor, so consumed by cynicism that he's forgotten what sincerity feels like. Every line drips with sarcasm and disdain. His smirk masks exhaustion. DiCaprio uses his patented charm very well here, that same charisma that carried Titanic and Catch Me If You Can, and twists it into something hollow. Archer has been lying for so long he's forgotten how to tell the truth, and DiCaprio makes that fatigue palpable. There's a constant weariness in his movements, his hands trembling as he lights a cigarette, the tightness in his jaw when someone brings up morality. But when the facade cracks, it breaks him to his core. That final radio call, where he accepts his fate on the mountaintop, is DiCaprio at his best. No screaming, no theatrics, just resignation. Feels like an absolution, a whisper of peace for a man who's never known it. It's built on grime and grief, showing that even in his action thriller roles, DiCaprio finds a way to bleed humanity into the violence. Lastly, there's The Aviator, the most psychologically exhausting role of his career, and the one that cemented him as an icon of the modern day. Playing Howard Hughes, the eccentric billionaire, filmmaker, and eventual recluse, DiCaprio descends into another wealthy man's private hell. You can see the mania bubbling underneath even when he's smiling. The obsessive hand-washing, the compulsive repetition, the fear of contamination. They feel like instincts instead of symptoms. There's something deeply unsettling about how DiCaprio portrays genius unraveling. Hughes' brilliance is inseparable from his madness, and you can feel the tug-of-war between creation and destruction in every scene. The film's color palette, all those golden ambers fading into sterile blues, mirrors his performance perfectly. A life that starts dazzling and ends suffocating. What's most haunting is how small DiCaprio makes him toward the end. Hughes, once the king of the skies, ends up trapped
trying
in
to
a
come out, but I
germ-free
won't
room,
let it.
repeating
I won't let
the
it.
way of the future over and over like a broken record. And DiCaprio plays that not as melodrama, but inevitability, the human cost of obsession. It's one of those roles where you stop seeing the actor entirely. For all the larger-than-life characters he's played, The Aviator shows that DiCaprio's real superpower is commitment. And that's the thread that runs through all of it. The Revenant, Inception, The Aviator, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Blood Diamond, each one a different study of obsession, loss, or decay. DiCaprio doesn't try to chase characters who win, he chases the ones who bleed for meaning. He finds truth in suffering, and he doesn't flinch from it. He'll crawl through mud, drown in guilt, vanish into grief, whatever it takes to erase the man behind the performance. Because at his best, he's not performing at all. He's surrendering. That's the magic of Leonardo DiCaprio. He makes you feel what it costs to become him, whoever he is. That's madness refined into art.
Damn, how the fuck did it go so fast?
You ever watch an actor
W video, baby boy. Alright, now we're getting to the powerhouse. Oh my god. I think I'm about to yawn. No yawn! Most human experiences. Oh, worst. Worst human experiences. Okay. Blocking. I don't even know. Hold on. Okay. This is going to be the last video.
Roasting. An art
Surrender.
form that has been around for so long. years have passed and people are still getting cooked. Now roasting, it's just all fun and games. It's jokes between you and your friends. But sometimes you're the main target and you're the only one that's getting roasted. And that's why getting roasted...
I've actually never been the main target. I've been roasted before, but like, usually I just clown back and we Gucci in the coochie, like my girl used to say, or usually says. She's kind of stopped saying that.
Can be so painful sometimes. You're the only one getting fried. And it's like, no matter what you do, people are going to be on your head for it. Say you're having a bad hair day. You pull up to the facility. You got like a few pieces of hair sticking up. But that doesn't matter. People are going to say you look like Alfalfa from the Little Rascals. And I'm thinking my own parents would get on my... Say you look like Alfalfa from the Little Rascals. And I'm thinking my own parents would get on my head and say this to me. And I've been roasted so much in my day-to-day life that I'm like, you know what? I just learned to embrace it at this point. People are going to roast you. It is what it is. Like 95% of the time, people are joking. But sometimes people really mean that shit. And I just sit there and think to myself, damn, my eyes really that far apart? Am I walking around looking like Sid the Sloth? And I take a good, hard look at myself in the mirror. And I put a ruler up to my eyes just to make sure. No, I'm just kidding. But back in the day, and even now, there are a lot of things that I still get cooked for. Now, I hated having short hair, but my parents made me get it cut really short. But there was this one time where my dad was just like, you know what? You got a garbage haircut. I don't know what the hell they did to your head. We're shaving it off. So they sat me down in the kitchen. I got a chair out of the basement and my head was completely shaved. And you can only imagine the roasts that were headed in my direction. I mean, granted, they were like elementary school roasts. My friends were just calling me Baldy as my hair follicles were non-existent. And when all my friends came over,
I don't know what's with parents. I gotta rant for a little bit. Genuinely, it's a canon event, especially for a lot of black kids. If you're black, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where every black kid has had the phase of a fucking buzz cut. Now, luckily, my cousin Armand, he have to go through it. His parents kept his hair long as hell. That nigga look like Finn from Adventure Time. But what I'm saying is, I don't know what's with parents, and they just want to set their kids up for failure, bro. They want to set their kids up for failure. I had a homie, right? No, I have a homie. I'm sorry, but I have to say it. Anyway, I had a homie, right? I have a homie who he's African, and he cannot his parents will not let his hair grow whatsoever. And I'm like, damn, bro, like, not at all? Nah, man. I'm like, all right, that's crazy. This motherfucker, bro, will sit in the goddamn barber chair and proceed to get the worst fucking lineup or no lineup at all I've ever seen. Now, actually, he's gotten some pretty good, like cuts. We made a joke, right? And I know I can't talk because, I got the braids, no lineup. Fuck it. I don't care. The niggas can suck my dick. I'm just going to rock the Huey Herman the whole time. Is it Huey? It might be Huey. Or it could be the other brother. Huey Herman. No, nigga. Huey from what the fuck? Oh, Freeman. I'm a fucking retard, and it's not even Riley. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I think I'm an idiot, chat. Don't clip that. Yeah, we're not clipping that shit. We're not clipping that shit. I know I got, the braids like Riley, Freeman. Fuck y'all niggas. Y'all can suck my dick. I don't care. But it's the fact that bro had a hairline, right? So he had a obvious hairline, okay? And then he had a taper. So for some fucking reason, he had a hairline here and a taper here. So I called it the warning taper. So we just like, oh, bro's hairline upcoming, or welcome to bro's hairline, shit like that. So we would just call it the warning taper, and we would clown him, right? It's fucked up, but it's funny though. And it's like, dude. And then one time, this dude genuinely got a cut and took a picture of his cut, bro. Like, the barber gave up. The barber genuinely went, yo, I'm too fucking tired. Like, bro must have been the last motherfucker in the seat. He must have been the last customer because bro sped his shit up. Forgot to line my nigga up or lined him up during an earthquake or something. Or used some safety scissors or something, bro. But all I know is that we clowned him and his hairline was the profile of our friend group for a long time. Still probably is. Actually, let me check. Oh, okay, no, it's not his hairline, but it's just him. It's like him's very zoomed in for some fucking reason. But yeah, needless to say, nigga kept getting cooked. He keeps getting cooked, bro. And honestly, I don't even know what to say, bro, other than that's fucking sad. Womp womp, honestly. Can't lie. But yeah. But yeah, that shit is, I don't know why. That shit is funny, though. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's with parents, bro. Because even my parents were like, I guess my mom was just like, we're cutting this shit low. And it's like, my shit never looked bad. It was just the fact that, like, it's like, damn, bro, like, why the fuck can I not grow my hair? And then I finally was able to grow my hair after, like, I actually was pretty young. I was, like, started growing my hair at, like 6 or 7, something like that. Not even trolling, chat. Not even trolling. But yeah, that shit is funny, though. That'll forever be funny.
It was so bad that I wore a hat in the pool. I wore a hat almost everywhere, and now I'm probably gonna get punished for it to this day. I'm just gonna start balding at the age of 21. But when my hair finally grew back, I had the courage to take my hat off. But of course, as you could imagine, that had a very distinct and disgusting smell. But me and my hat, you know what? We conquered the world through thick and thin. We were really locked in like that. But another thing people would get roasted for back in the day is having a crush. If you had a crush, everybody was gonna get on your head for it. People would sing a whole song just to roast you, but everybody was gonna get on your head for it. People.
Wait. Sitting in the tree. KISSING. First comes love, then comes then comes baby and a baby care. That is so fucking stupid, but niggas really said that.
Would sing a whole song just to roast you. But no matter what, the FBI would have had to confront me to get that information out of me. I wasn't telling anybody. People would try to interrogate me, and it was at the most random times, too. We could have been sitting there playing.
Yeah, no. This is a fact. Bro, even nowadays, bro. Oh! Did I get him? The motherfucker disappeared as soon as I clapped. But it's not on my hand. It's not on my hand. Okay. But anyway. So basically it still happens now, bro. Like, genuinely, when me and my girl first started dating, genuinely, motherfuckers would come up to me at the most random time. Like, Gotta mute. Anyway. They would come up to me at the most random time and ask, who am I dating, or am I dating my girl? And I'm like, what? Like, why does it matter? But genuinely, it's like one time I was chilling at lunch. What I like to do, I like to bring my AirPod, put my AirPod in my ear, you know, because I fucking lost the other one. The only one that's literally just right here, not even in the fucking case. Don't even know what the goddamn case is. Put my AirPod in my ear. Sit there, zone out, and listen to some Kanye West. That motherfucker, I didn't kill it. Ooh, I'm about to get your ass now. You lucky. Nah, okay, I'm gonna leave him be. I lied, I'm not gonna let him be. Damn, the nigga spit up. Like, what? Anyway. What the heck? Anyway. So. Anyway. Yeah. So, and then I would literally like some random dude I don't even fucking know, bro, just come up and be like, oh, are you dating da 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 da? What's it to you, bud? What's it to you, bud? Like, get your stupid ass out of here, bro. Real talk. What the fuck is wrong with you? But anyway, yeah, it's just stupid shit like that. Or, I don't even know, like, just, like, motherfuckers just come up to you, like, things that you don't know. Oh, who are you dating? Why do you care? Genuinely, why do you care? But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, baby boys and girls. I'm sorry. Wait, I must see. I must see. I have to sing. I have to play. What is that noise?
Pokemon cards. You have a crush. Spill the beans. I know you do. Okay, that was over dramatic.
And if you try to deny it, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't believe you. Just tell me." Like, who are you?
You get the point. Having a crush was a big deal. So what I did instead is I would join in on roasting the people that did have a crush. There was this one time where my friend was on the phone with his crush, and we were all in an Xbox party with him. And we played the most edgy and offensive memes that we could possibly think of. And his crush got mad and hung up the phone. Yeah, bro, we were some assholes for that. I'm not gonna lie, but it's kind of funny looking back on it. Like, look, if I was gonna get roasted, I had to participate myself from time to time. Another big thing that people would get roasted for was their hairline. And the big thing when I was like 13 was, quote, "You have a McDonald's hairline. Your hairline looked like Vegeta's. Well, get ready to get cooked." And people that I went to school with or people I did sports with would do what's called, quote, a hairline check. And what this was is people would go up to you and ask to see your hairline. They would demand to see your hairline. They wanted to make sure that it wasn't a McDonald's hairline. This dude went up to me 3 times in 1 year just to make sure that my hairline didn't just magically change overnight. And oh my God, forget it. If you had a McDonald's hairline, yeah, see, I was friends with this one kid who did have one. This dude got called Ronald McDonald every day of his life. Now, thankfully, I was safe from that one. But a couple years later, there was a joke that was going around that if you were the quiet kid, you just got a strap tucked in your backpack,
I don't know what
ready
that
to
is,
go.
but
And I was the main target of this joke. And still to this day, I get cooked for it sometimes. I just don't really talk unless I have something of importance to say. I know I do this whole YouTube thing, but in real life, it's a lot different for me. So yeah, I've heard every school shooter joke under the sun. Guys, he's reaching in his backpack. Oh my God. And they were just expecting me to just pull out an AR-15 in GTA YouTube, not in real life. And it didn't help at all that I would wear a hoodie and I would just put my hands in my hood pocket. At that point, I was just asking to be roasted. And I had this emo-ass haircut in middle school. And of course, yeah, my fits were not up to par either. I was repping a Pokemon backpack, and I wore the same Pokemon and Mario t-shirts every day. And in middle school, I was the neon kid. Like, I had every color of traffic cone that you could imagine. I would walk in and just flashbang people with how bright these damn colors were. And I would wear sweatpants that were years old, bro. They had holes in them. They were dusty as hell. And, I wasn't exactly a fashion connoisseur over here. Like, you could have stuck my ass on the runway with how goofy my outfits were. There was this one time I got made fun of for having a Pokemon backpack, and I cried about it all day. And even when I got off the bus and school was over, I was mad about it. I was telling my mom about it. Like, at that point, school's over. Who fucking cares anymore? So what if your Pokemon backpack got made fun of? And of course, we can't forget this one. If you get no girls, you're getting cooked. This one's really prevalent in high school and college. In my experience at middle school, nobody really cared about that.
Nah, middle schools are so fucking fast now. They'll be like, oh, you get no bitches. Motherfucker, what? Your girlfriend is your right hand. What the fuck are you talking about? My homie just sent this to me. Who said we ain't in a relationship? Nah, I'm playing. No! No! Shot. I accidentally was texting him on TikTok and I accidentally deleted for me instead of deleted for all. And I said, who said we ended it? I'm getting fucking
But oh
clicked
my
in the
god,
group
I
chat.
got clowned
I'm
beyond
fucked.
belief. When I was just entering
I'm
college,
fucked.
end of high school, the whole no bitches thing became a meme. So you already know at the roast sessions, I was front and center of that one as well. And anytime I would try to say something back, all they had to do was say, you know what's crazy? I might need to find my hairline. But you need to find some bit, and everybody was on the floor dead. It was over. And where these roast sessions would take place is usually at the cafeteria table or just in a circle with your friends, either outside of school or where you're hanging out, whatever. And never do you want to be in the center of a roast circle. That's like asking to get cooked. Or sometimes people would have rap battles against each other and people in the crowd would make a beat. Crazy times, but I was not getting involved. But another thing you don't want to do is laugh. You never want to laugh because the person that's getting roasted is going to be like, I know I didn't just hear you laugh. And they're just going to start frying you. And obviously you don't want that to happen. You want them to just keep roasting each other back and forth. Getting involved sometimes is a death sentence, especially if you know that dude is good at roasting. There are a lot of times where people got on my head for laughing. So I just decided not saying anything at all was probably the best option. But if you decide to go head to head in a roast battle with somebody, these are different people that you will see in a roast battle. The dude that just takes it too far. Like somebody could say your head looks like an egg, bro. You look like Andrew Tate. And this dude will come out of the woodworks and say, that's why your mom tragically passed away in a car crash. Like, damn, dude, you needed to bring his mom into it. What the fuck? Like, that's just too far. Like, it's just friendly banter back and forth. And at that point, the vibe is killed. That probably just hurt his feelings. So everybody's like, damn, that was fucked up. But this kid has no remorse. It doesn't matter to him. He just wants to win the roast battle. The instigator. There's always that one dude that says, personally, bro, I wouldn't take that disrespect. And they start escalating the beef between you and this other.
Only time I don't instigate is when, like, I know shit can get heated, like, really bad. But, like, I'll instigate my homies, like, yo, me personally, I would not let that slide. Or, bro, he's saying this. Yo, bro, you gonna let him talk to you like that? Shit like that. But, like, yeah. I don't know. It's just like, but like, if I know like niggas got beef, and I'm like, oh wait, they're not, ooh. Yeah,
other
then I
person.
won't do it.
They're just trying to sit there, chill with a bucket of popcorn as you get torn to shreds by this other person. And now I had an instigator in my friend group. And bro, I'm not trying to get involved. So I hated when people would do this. Like, I'm just trying to be a spectator. Leave me alone. I'm trying to be on the bench. Like, if you want me to get involved so bad, bro, why don't you get involved yourself? But then there's the kid that gets violent. Like, he takes it so personally that he just decides to throw some punches. I didn't know it was that serious to the point where you had to get up and just start throwing haymakers at this random dude. Or this dude cannot handle being roasted.
Unless he's
needs
red.
To win somehow. And I guess he thinks him throwing punches and just beating this kid up for no reason is gonna get him the win. But in reality, Homie, it's only gonna make you look worse. It's different if it gets like very disrespectful. Obviously, I'm not letting that shit slide. But if it's something like you look like an egg, just let it go, bro. It's not that deep at all. There's always gonna be the one person who gets insane information. I don't know how they get it. I don't know where they get it from, but they just happen to know everything about you. They might be watching you at night. You gotta be careful. This person is your #1 stalker, so you don't want to even try going up against them in a roast battle. They just dig up the most cryptic piece of information that nobody knew about, and it's over for you. There's no coming back at that point. People will bring up that you were that one dude that pooped himself in middle school in another state, and you moved here just to avoid the embarrassment. Like, that has gotta cut deep. And then we got the dude that tries to roast you in front of the girls. There's always that guy that wants to make you the laughing stock in front of all the girls. I'm sure a lot of people experience this one, and oh, I for sure did. I was in college at this time, and I was in the room with a bunch of people.
Actually, no,
and then
everybody
these
has.
two random dudes walked in. There was a few girls there.
Yo, I actually almost got into a fight behind that. Not I wanted to fight him, but he wanted to fight me just to impress the girls. But I'll explain that. That's a story for another time.
And of course, they say hi to the girls, obviously. And they start talking to them, and they want to have this crazy game. Now, I was on my phone at the home screen at this point. I put down my phone because I didn't want to be rude when they came in. And because I put my phone down, they thought I was trying to hide X-rated videos or some shit. First of all, that shit. It's terrible for you. And second of all, why would I even watch it in front of people? And keep in mind, I didn't know these people at all. And they were saying like I was trying to hide a boner or some shit. And then they just walked out the room laughing and left. And they just went back to doing whatever the hell they were doing. Canon events. I've been doing a lot of scrolling, as per usual, and that's how I find video ideas nowadays. I saw that a lot of people were talking about canon events, or
this video's just a
specifically male
mashup.
canon
I'm not gonna watch all of it. Well, it says worst human experiences, so I'll let it slide.
events. And now people have been making videos where they put their top 10 canon events on a list. Then I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what if I put mine on a list? So yeah, let's just get right into it. Number 1.
Only reason why canon events is even a thing is because of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and that's so cool to me, bro. Because I love that. I love that. That series, bro. That movie series, bro. I love it so much, and it's just so lit to be a part of it.
Fumbling, a 10 out of 10. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes you just choke. There's really nothing you can do about it. One day you might be Curry from 3, and then the next you might be Curry from the moon. And now, unfortunately, I've had my fair share of experiences of fumbling. And sometimes I get afraid of fumbling, and that ends up being my downfall. And to cope with the unfortunate scenario of fumbling, I may find myself doing something such as working out, or making a video,
7 out of 10,
or hell,
8
even
out of 10.
reading a book.
But I didn't even
Literally
fumble, 'cause I
anything
didn't
to
even,
take
try
my
to
mind
explain.
off that shit. Getting rejected, definitely one of the worst feelings on planet Earth, but eventually, the more you get rejected, the more you'll be able to just take the L on the chin and walk away and not really think about it that much later. Hey, I mean, it's a learning experience, so we all gotta go through it eventually. That's the type of shit that will build crazy character development. Next, we got the day you realize you are not going pro. A lot of people growing up have ambitions of being a professional athlete, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, whatever.
Genuinely, I'm pretty sure everybody felt like they wanted to go pro, and like the canon event of figuring out you're not gonna go pro is like kind of devastating, especially if you try to make it fucking far. And it's like, I'm not gonna say any names, but there's like one person that I know, not that I know, but there's one person that, you know, that name comes up to me when I like if I think about that. They're an influencer, but I'm not gonna like say their name because it's like fucked up, and like I don't want him catching strays just because, you know, I'm not trying to clown, but you know, it's like it is what it is, bro. I figured it out like really early in my career, in my life. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go pro. I don't want to fucking go pro. So I was like, okay, bet.
And as you get older and go into high school, people will start getting offers from crazy ass Division I or Ivy League schools, and then you're over there with nothing, zero offers.
Middle school, I was
that's
like, I
gotta
don't
be
wanna
one of
go
the
pro.
most painful feelings of all time. I mean, for me, I realized that when I was in middle school. Like, I just got benched every fucking day of baseball. And I knew at that moment, maybe it's time for me to hang up the hat with baseball. Maybe it's time for me to retire. So in 2018, I officially hung up the hat with baseball. And as sad as it is, sometimes you gotta move on. I've been playing baseball for 8 years of my life at that point. After you realize you gotta hang up the hat, you just gotta accept it, bro. You just gotta accept that it's over. You are no longer a starter on the football team. Some people don't let that go, which is kind of crazy. Like, come on, bro. You gotta let it go at some point. Number 3, we got getting embarrassed in front of a large crowd. I don't care what anybody says. There is no stronger canon event than public embarrassment. And once I experienced this, I was a changed man. And the first time I experienced this is exactly when I started caring too much about what people thought of me. Obviously, you should care to some extent, but obviously you should not let it control you. And the first time this happened to me, this is around the time roast battles became popular. Everyone was roasting each other. And then I didn't even say anything. I was just laughing. And they pointed at me like, bro, why are you laughing? You haven't said a word this entire lunch period. And then the table started laughing. Everybody at the table. This is a big-ass lunch table, by the way. And I was fighting back tears, okay? I was trying to hold in the tears, but I knew it was true. So
that's not a
at
crowd,
the time,
though.
it cut deep, even though
5 people isn't a crowd, though. Like, that's like 10 or more.
really shouldn't have. It's not serious. It was a roast battle. But then again, I was 12 years old, so I thought my life was over. And if you're somebody that has social anxiety, you're definitely going to be terrified of this. I was somebody that would let these moments live in my head rent-free. I would think about it all the time. But when you remember, it's really not that deep. Everyone's going to forget about it. Eventually, you just let it go. And life just becomes a lot better. Now we got getting a bad haircut. I think everyone's gotten a bad haircut at least once in their life. And if you didn't, well, I guess you're just really lucky. That's why you got to find somebody to cut your hair like every single time. You just can't get a random barber because you don't know if they're going to mess it up. If you don't have a barber or stylist that you're locked in with, yeah, dog, it's like playing Russian roulette with your hair. You don't know who is going to cut your hair. You don't know if they're even qualified to cut hair. This might be their first day on the job, and you may walk out of there bald. I don't know. Most likely not, but you get the point. And during this bad cut era, your social life just gets hit with a huge nerve. Your friends are probably gonna roast you. You're gonna be sentenced to 2 months with no female interaction. It's over. I don't know if we were just born for this cut scene to be installed into our life, but literally everybody goes through this for some reason. Like, so many of my friends have gotten such terrible cuts to the point where they had to restart. Any confidence you had at that point, it gets completely stripped until your hair grows back. Then we got number 5, discovering insane family lore. There's nothing like finally getting to that age where you start to find out and understand the family lore. And I was just a dumbass kid on his iPad in like the early 2010s, but now I'm tapped into the family lore. I know what's going on. And now most of the lore in the Duckalo family is good lore. Like, I don't think we really have bad lore at all, to be honest. But sometimes there's a little bit of beef that goes down, and I don't know, it just happens in every family, to be honest. But then don't even get me started on that old photo book. Every family has one, and then you open it, you'll start seeing pictures from like the 1960s.
Bro, my
and
family
it just
doesn't
blows
have
my
a fucking
mind
photo book.
finding out
It's a
about
bunch of
people that
loose-ass
I didn't even
photos that
know
we see
existed.
when we're
And it
moving or
really does
packing up.
interest me sometimes looking back at old photos of my family. Like, it is kind of cool to understand and discover the lore of the Duckalo family. Now, if it's bad lore in the family, you'll look at the family members completely different after. And next we have getting roasted for being fat or skinny. One point in my life, Oreo Cakesters was my go-to gas station snack. I was like 100 pounds in the 3rd grade, which is kind of crazy. And by 5th, 6th grade, I lost the rest of the weight, and I was very skinny until I started going to the gym in 2022. And I actually put on a little bit of muscle. I mean, I'm not skin and bones anymore, but I still got some work to do, obviously. But sometimes that one dude that gets roasted for being fat in the friend group, he'll come back and just turn his life around completely. He'll have the glow up of the century. And he'll just come back a new person. Like, it's pretty much like the Nick Avocado transformation all over again. And this really skinny dudes out there, they're sick of being compared to the SpongeBob photo, so they hit this legendary gym arc and they never look back. Then a couple years later, they're benching 300 pounds like it's nothing. And speaking of working out, everybody has at least searched this video once.
how to get abs in 5 minutes. Everybody's done it. I don't care who you are. I know in my Oreo Cakester days, I definitely did this for sure because I wanted to get abs in 5 minutes. I was too lazy to put in the work and get them. It had to happen. I needed to get them before the pool party I was
Not
going
5
to, or
minutes,
whatever
but I
it was. And
definitely
the amount of
searched up
minutes I wasted
how to
watching
get
these
abs
videos was
or
insane.
ab
But then you
ab
start to realize,
exercises
okay,
that
there's no shortcuts to getting ripped. You
that
gotta
get you
put in the
into
work.
abs.
You gotta work out pretty consistently. Back then, I just had to realize there was no way around the gym. If it was that easy, you could just get them in 5 minutes. We would all have abs. And now we got the first all-nighter. Some of you probably have never pulled an all-nighter in your life, and some of you are like, I pull all-nighters all the time. And if you do, go to sleep, all right? Your body needs it. Now, my first all-nighter was when I was in high school. I think it was in like 2020. I stayed up all night watching YouTube videos, and then I just slept during my Zoom classes. I think I talked about this in my quarantine video already, but I remember it was just me and the teacher in one of my classes, and it was probably one of the most awkward moments in my life. But whether you played video games all night or whatever you decided to do, pulling an all-nighter was something that we all had to experience at one point or another. And of course, I would get that feeling of nervousness because I know if my parents walked into my room and saw me up at 4 in the morning, they would have been pissed. And I wouldn't have been able to play Xbox with my friends at the time. And this definitely played a part in my garbage sleep schedule because sometimes I'm going to bed
Bro, my
at like
sleep
3 in the
schedule's so
morning, 4
fucking
in the morning.
garbage, dude.
It's bad. But once I get older, I'll definitely develop a more consistent sleeping schedule. And now we got running away from home, or running away in air quotes. We've all done it or thought about doing it. I walked about halfway down my neighborhood and I realized I was gonna miss all the dino nuggets, so I needed to come back. But every time I would come back, I felt like that one ant with the bindle, and obviously my parents were responsible for me, so they had to let me inside. They had to deal with my stupid ass shenanigans all day. I really don't know why I thought running away was gonna solve all my problems. Shit gets hard, it happens. Responsibilities pop up, and it was gonna be even worse if I left the house. I don't even remember the reasoning as to why I quote-unquote ran away. Like, okay, bro, no one's running away. Now we got your first job. Okay, this is at least top 5. There's no way. Everybody has had that one job that's just absolute trash. And my first job was at a supermarket around the time of the pandemic. And I was trying to make the most of it. Talk to coworkers whenever I could. I worked with some of my friends, which is cool. And I was trying to make the most of it. Talk
911 is older than Broly.
to coworkers whenever I could. I worked with some
Yo, G, what's your best piece of
of my
advice for
friends,
adult
which is
man?
cool, but I barely got to talk to them because the managers would get on my head every time I would, even though there's like not a single soul in the store. And a lot of times I had to deal with bitchy customers, and some people like customer service jobs, and you know what? If that's for you, then I guess go for it. But that shit was definitely not me. That's all I'm gonna say. I dipped as soon as I could. Now we got to the feeling of being behind in life. The classic, damn, I'm wasting my life realization will just hit you like a truck sometimes. A lot of times, I spend too much time making YouTube videos, okay? I will admit that. So I had to just go enjoy my life a little bit. The past few months, I took a break from Wordy, so I had to go travel a little bit, hang out with friends more, and just really enjoy what life had to offer. And sometimes when you think you're wasting your life, then you'll realize you're behind. Like, there's already 18-year-olds getting drafted into the NBA. Like, ref, do something. Like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, definitely a wake-up call for sure. For me, especially. To just get my...
Why the only black guy gotta be a basketball referee? Nah, I'm playing.
my shit together and start improving. But yeah, jokes aside, obviously not everybody's got to be a professional athlete. You just got to make the best out of your life and just work hard and just keep improving every day. And by working hard, I do not mean doing some stupid ass stunt on TikTok for views. Because for whatever reason, there's some people out there resorting to that option. I mean actually grinding towards whatever you want your dream career to be. When you think of the most annoying place to go, you may think of work, school, a fucking porta potty, I don't know. But honestly, what I think beats all 3 of those places combined as the worst place to ever exist, the airport. It's really something. The airport is one of those things that's like, well, you kind of... Of course, when I'm waiting in this line, everybody is sick. I don't know why everybody happens to be sick at an airport, but I always end up getting...
You know, chat, I'm actually... It's gonna be the first time. It's gonna be the first time that I don't finish a video. I'm gonna get off. Like I said, I got a lot evaluating to do. What do I do with streaming? You know, because I really want to I gotta put the work in, man. I just gotta put the work in. But I also gotta get good sleep. So I'm gonna see y'all later. Love y'all. Stay blessed. Love yourself. And don't be a dickhead. I'm out of here.